there is theft of drugs. And to be specific, this theft has been going on in your health units. But now it has emerged because you used to transfer a problem. This problem has been there. This problem has been there in the district and over a long time, but you continue to transfer that problem and cover it. But now it can no longer be covered. And we shall demand, because we have intelligence information, we are fed on intelligence information. And we came knowing, and when we went to Bugobero, we knew that there was a problem. But you might find that elsewhere also there is a problem. And their linkages, these thugs link up their thuggery. So the whole racket, we need that whole racket uprooted. And they face the law. Through civil service, the chief administrative officer is aware of what happens in civil service. The first thing is when you get this and there is evidence, you interdict. You have either failed in your job or your DHO has failed you in your job. Either he has not fed you and therefore both of you have failed at the end of the day. And this individual is like cancer. If you don't arrest this cancer, it spreads. These drugs are meant for the population. And health is wealth. We have made 2 statements. We have said, one team, one dream. Health is wealth. So those who are supposed to take decisions must take decisions. I think I have even their names. Even if I don't talk about their names, I think the head of department will have to talk about their names. Because me, I may not pronounce them well. I may not pronounce them well. There is a man called Songoni Yahaya, who is a storeman. Songoni. Then there is another one called Violet. My brothers and sisters, they are procedures. You cannot come and enter into my food store. Which food store has rules and regulations? 1, you must have cleaned yourself. 2, you must be either working in that food store or otherwise. If those rules are not followed, then I think there is a problem. But we are not happy because this thing happened. This Songeni man is at large. Violet is at large. There is no interdiction. There is nothing. They are all at large. This Violet, I think, started from Bubulo. Then from Bubulo, I think he was suffering from the same sickness. Went to Utiru, I think suffering from the same sickness. The HIV test kits were getting lost, and yet this is a vulnerable group. Then this lady now comes and penetrates now. I wish she was stealing where she's working, but she's stealing from where she's not working. That level of thuggery cannot be accepted. Unless otherwise, for us, this is our take. This is our take. And as you explain to us what measures you have taken, and what measures you have put in place so that some of these things don't happen, then I rest my case and I call upon my team leader to add. Thank you. But while we were waiting for the DHO, and you heard me talk about corruption. You know, corruption is like a pregnant woman. You know, you can't hide pregnancy. I've ever been pregnant. I've delivered babies. But you know, the moment you become pregnant, you begin denying. Even when they see the shape, the morphology changing, the face becomes a little bit beautiful, people will begin saying, but it seems you're pregnant. This woman will never accept that she's pregnant. So that is corruption. So even when someone is corrupt, someone will never accept he's corrupt until he's caught in the act. And we are here. We are saying, whether it is your relative, whether it is your brother, the moment he's corrupt and he must face the law. And the cow who is here and the DHO.
When drugs are being looted, I want to use the right, looted in the health center, you feel comfortable as a DHO, or you are dissatisfied because you are acting. Maybe cow will explain that. For how long have you acted? And if you've acted too long, what is also your level of performance? If these things are being looted under your watch, for me I call it under your watch, because you will explain to us how this goes on untouched. Where is our commitment in this performance? What legacy do I leave behind if I exit tomorrow? We should all be on, and don't just talk of maybe DHO, all of us. Because not only DHO who goes there, even your own mother will go there, and the money is extorted from her. Your own father, how do you feel about it? Absenteeism of staff, what are the countermeasures? That's what I would love to hear. It is happening, yes, but what are the countermeasures that are being put in place to tame this practice for the betterment of service delivery? We must be able to say, this is what we are putting in place, so that this does not continue. If it has happened, it should not be left to continue. It must be stopped. And who is to do it? You are the implementers. A lot of checks and balances on all the projects that are run in the district should be our serious mandate. Checks and balances. And all of us should be able to check, visit, and say, I'm seeing this. I'm seeing a crack. I even found in that health center 4, there is a pit latrine that has a crack. You've seen it? So now, patients go there. Do you know when it is going to collapse? What if it collapses and the patients are inside? You will organize the funerals, eh? That's what we are waiting for. Because a pit latrine is a pit latrine. It's not like anything else. And you don't know when it can collapse. So what what are the measures being put in place? Members, I don't want to talk much, but we know where we need to put our efforts in all this. And here we have come to share. And we've not come to condemn. But what we are saying is, this is what we have observed. What does the technical staff have to say? And what do you feel you should put in place so that we don't get a repeat of this? Are we together? We are not coming here to condemn anybody. And please be open in your submission.
Communication from the Secretariat, we now get back to the agenda. And the next item was a word from the LOC5 chair.
And the cow.
And the cow.
Then we get to discussion.
Then we get to general discussions as yes, Chair, you are welcome.
Thanks. I've been addressing these issues, but for us, there is one word which they describe, which I can describe. They said that when one is born like that, sometimes he dies when he's like that. You try to correct, then you find things again. You find he has diverted from whatever you have corrected. But for sure, the district is always addressing this issue of theft of drugs, theft of what. I don't know how again it is surfacing up. But for sure, we shall have we shall act as one team to achieve one dream, as I have said. I pray, and I don't take long since time is resolved. The implementation can yield good results.
Colleagues from anti-corruption, the pillars that all of us are. Yes. And I think that is a good statement which should ring in our minds. Straight away, I was in the field. That's why you see me dressed like this. If you look in the book in Bugovera, I'm the one who closed the attendance of today in the morning. When time reached, I drew a line, if you saw, with a red pen to show that anyone who signs below, and that is what we are trying to do. I joined when we consider the first quarter of 2023-2024. Absenteeism rate in Manafwa, I'll start with absenteeism to duty, because once absenteeism is handled, other things can flow in line, was at 69%. And I think, Carl, you remember in the regional assembly, that was the figure we were given. At the end of the fourth quarter, and this is, I'm just giving you an example, this is a report I got now for the last quarter. We are end of quarter 2023-2024, quarter 4, our absenteeism rate is now at 80%. So that is to affirm that the truth is absenteeism was high. And what mechanisms have we put in to bring it to 8%? Because it is not easy. This one goes to the issue of withholding salaries. Carl, this month, you withheld, I wrote to you, and withheld salaries of 3 officers. This is like an example of what we do. Just to check absenteeism, because it rings a bell. And we were encouraged by the IGG, which was here. This one has gone down to the staff. I don't pay you because you didn't work unless you have a very satisfactory information. I can tell you that one staff so far is being, I wrote to be removed from the payroll. I wrote to CAP because we could not trace that staff. We held the salary, wrote letters, but there was no, and the letters here, this one of May 2024. So we could not get anything from that staff, no response. Even Carl's office wrote no response. So after that, we said, can we have this staff be removed and we get someone who can work? Then also on abscondment and attendance to duty, other things we are putting in place is a staff who has questionable whereabouts. We have been writing to them. First, I write this to facilitate in charges to tell us about this staff. If you read that letter, it tells you that give me a detailed report about this particular staff because of attendance to duty. When I joined the office, one major weak factor was the non-functionality of the health unit management committees, which are very key in service delivery. And through office of the CAO and the LOC5, they helped me. And right now we have all health facilities in the district with functional health unit management committees, which were not there. Some had expired and some were not there at all. So now we have functional health unit management committees. We wrote a concept to Uganda Health Activity, and all of them were trained about their roles because they can help us tackle some of the things you have mentioned. This is really a wake-up call to us, and we are happy as a district to bring this. There is a report about the drug safety. It is true, the drugs are being looted. Actually, it is not only in Manafwa. It It is
But
the
we
whole
are now-
country.
We are now talking of Manafwa.
Are you
And
the
they-
DHO?
Are you running the whole
Are you
country?
the DHO?
No,
Are you the Director General of Health Services in Uganda?
I wanted to bring something that thank you so much for joining hands, mostly with the districts, about fighting the drug theft. We did a report.
Talk about Manafwa.
Yes.
But also you are talking of this health management
Yes, yes.
committees.
Yes.
It is missing in that health center for government.
No, it is now there.
When did it start? Because we were
It
there
started
and we told
last
we
year in
tried
July.
reform, but it has not been acting at all.
This is a letter I wrote.
It was not a function.
That is the letter I wrote about the medicines, and that is the team we formed to go around the health facilities about medicines theft. And so when you look at that letter, we notified them about the audit. Like Carl said, because it would be very difficult to say someone is carrying drugs without evidence. So we formed that team to help us to go down up to the grassroots. And I invited them for a meeting, and this meeting I didn't want any delegation of all in charges and the people you see there, some of the names you have mentioned. And the audit was carried out for the financial year 2023-2024. And to our as a DHT, we felt so uncomfortable. Later, the permanent secretary wrote to us, and that is where I was driving that my first comment, that about the drug theft, which they have noted. But already the team was in the field, because the financial the permanent secretary wrote was behind, was 2022-2023. Yet for us, we had put an audit of 2023-2024. But still, we say this one is going to give us a good picture of what is happening. And we got a report yesterday, presentation, according to that letter, one of the letters there, about the audit team, what they have formed. So we were now putting responses to CAO. The audit report, we're now going to, because we called the people, and the truth is, some confessed and told us what has been happening. And I think it was one of the best days that people were even crying in the meeting, because one, like Major said, they were moving, one moves in the facilities and to goes the other side and could make requisitions. So what resolutions?
Unsigned requisitions.
Exactly. Now, what have we put in place? Audit is going to be a must, like we have done, because it has given us a very, very good report. The report is a detailed one and very good one. Then two, what have we done as a unit? All requisitions of drugs, we have done now mentorship, because it is like people were taking it for granted. That I go here, my facility lacks this and they give. I have to append a signature on any transfer from, because the major, our visitors, the major loss of drugs were interfacility transfers.
Yeah.
And because they come when we have a problem and the other in charge feels it is very urgent, recommends the issuance. So now, all...
You hold it.
Yes.
You know, we are all technical in this meeting. Those
Facility transfers.
interfacility transfers, they are forms.
Yes.
You make a requisition, and this form is signed, and it is taken to that facility.
True.
And the head of that facility must be aware. But with this one of yours, should carry this unsigned requisition up to the store.
Inside the store.
Inside the store.
True.
So what connection is there?
What we
Between the
discovered,
storekeeper and the outsiders.
what we discovered, one thing is, this person, it is true, makes this requisition. Now, another one could be official, they could write like 3 items, then it goes and adds to make 10. Those are the things we discovered. So then it goes and gets. So another one, like we got, like you said, another one, others were truly not having an authorization. And others could not at least have anything at all. But what helped us was the stock cards and those different checks in the stores, dispensing logs, all those. So you could find that they have issued, let's say, for example, an item we got 400 artists with it. But the receiving facility could not get. That's why we said, at first we put an audit in only 2 facilities, health center force. But I realized it is not going to help us, because the facilities involved were almost all. So we put in all the 7 public facilities. And that's how we got a very nice report to unearth all these people. And in the meeting, it is true, they confessed the irregularities.
So what?
Some were involved in giving money. One even mentioned that I give out what? I give money. And that's the report we are going to submit to CAD. The meeting was yesterday, all day.
I will be very pleased if that one first left behind bars.
We shall submit to you the report, probably.
And do you know the magnitude of drugs that have been siphoned out?
We have.
Is it in this report which you're talking
In the
about?
report it has. Because we sampled, no, there is another detailed report. It has everything.
Looked into by car.
Yes. Yes.
They still to be.
Yes. Because even like one of the facilities was a PNFP facility. Yes, where I invited up to the hospital administrator, up to the administrator of that facility, so that he knows what is happening. And because some were purchases, let's say, like there was a delivery of 400 artisanate, yet that very day, this facility had procured that same drug, same quantity. So we wanted to also to hear from him, because did you buy the drugs that very day? What happened? So those are the why we involved with that.
But hold it.
Yes.
We are discussing now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You are informing and we are discussing. Now,
But you sit.
is it likely? You know, in my culture, we call them Biafandum. I am in charge, and yet I'm not in charge. Is there a likelihood that the managers were Biafandumu type? And at what level would you know what is going on within your facility? 3, I think we have had people who think they are indispensable. This is my zone, and it is a no-go zone, so you cannot even access those stock cards. You can't. It is my detail, and it is my detail. And yet this is government, unless it is your house. But even in your house, you share with your wife. When a man begins saying, you don't look here, me, I will go for where you are stopping me from looking, because there must be something. So there is that also, there is that chain of us opening our eyes that what is below us really, we must critically know and be informed of what is going. And you know, Carl, technically, all omissions and commissions fall on who? If we are talking about Ugobero, do you see how the administrator also falls suit? What was she doing? Where was she? I mean, whether him or her, what was happening? You understand? Even you yourself,
Yes.
because you do monitoring. What were you doing? But since we have not come here really to point fingers, we are saying one team,
The wake up call.
one what?
Dream.
One dream. 2, health is wealth. So we must ensure that we leave no stone unturned, like what the chairman said, so that we streamline things. And those who have been sleeping, for God's sake, wake up.
a wake-up call.
You know how many universities are charging doctors now? There are very many. There are many doctors who are sleeping around the city square there, waiting for an opportunity. So all of us, we are not indispensable, including us. Yes, I can be, done away with, sister can be done away with, and there are even more brighter individuals who can come and take over. But we want responsibility. People must be responsible and answerable. And also, where do you leave the chairman? Because he's the political head. You preside over that. You see how you bring trouble to the political leadership. How about the members of DEC? How about those who represent these sub-counties where these institutions are? So you can see all of us are sleeping on our jobs. I know how these councillors behave. When they're in council, they will shout, "Cow, give us money." But with this hemorrhage, which they cannot also find out and arrest in time, so it is all of us. Like sister said, all of
We
us,
are all even anti-corruption fighters.
all of us, you have been recruited into this fight. And stop pointing fingers at others. This war begins with me. All of us, it begins with Martha, it begins with Grace, it begins with Edwin and Ephraim.
It's a wake-up call. The next time we come back, it may not be the same. And we are very much interested in getting that report from you about this theft. It is absenteeism you're trying. But maybe you are overwhelmed, don't you? It's too much work.
Not really.
Because when you tell us that the book, that book at the gate there,
Yes.
where's your book?
What we have.
That was
Which book are you talking about?
that you ruled.
The arrival book. What we have done as
Where is
DHT,
it placed?
Where is it?
Where is it placed?
it is in Bugobero.
No,
Where?
at what point?
At
In
the
there.
gate.
At the gate.
There's a shed as you enter the gate.
Nice.
No, there is also a visitor's book. It is
But
different.
even that book we are talking about, even then, what you need to improve on the security of these health centers. How is it?
We normally have a carry.
And then it too, this drug store man, for me is a serious concern. It looks like there are many people he's
There's a
conniving
lot
with.
of conniving.
Yeah.
There's a string.
And you need to put your feet down and go there and do a lot of work in that health center.
And you're on a highway too.
Yes.
And for diplomatic reasons, you're on a highway.
Okay.
Which as we are soldiers, we're very diplomatic. Yes, we're on a highway. You don't know where they end up.
This is Ephraim.
Yes.
Ephraim.
Ephraim, you're in
For
trouble.
me, I like you. But you must put those feet. The feet is not grounded down. There are gaps there in that health center. It's not in our mandate to begin uttering them here. But the next time we come back, we take you back and we shall see if you've corrected the thing. Hmm?
Yes.
What is happening to that long building of the toilets, which with an overflow? What's happening? If you are in charge, if I say you are not in charge, you correct me and tell me, sister, I'm in charge. So there is a lot you need to go and do in that health center, not just stopping at the gate and ruling.
And
the
ruling
gate.
with your
What are you
pen.
ruling there? Go in there and give priority to what is there.
And before we leave this region,
We are still in the region because we must go to Namisingwa where all, but we need that report. What are your findings and what do you propose to be done?
It is all there.
and go and pick that absolute things from there. Go and pick it from there and
This
find a store for it.
We
Find a store for it. And those bricks which have become a kitchen for the maternity ward, go and remove those bricks and put them elsewhere. You can see how they have attracted the